Thank you for joining us for this month's edition of About Business, your community show to find out about Arlington businesses, business leaders, and issues that affect our business community. On this month's show, we'll chat with Jon Moultrie. He's the principal with Enterprise Realtors, the Jon Moultrie team, and they're located here in Arlington, Tennessee. Stay tuned. So Jon, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here with me today for this inaugural school year edition of About Business. So I wanted you to come and chat with us and tell us about your business and about things going on in Arlington. But first, since we are here at the high school, tell me about your path from high school to where you are today.
Great. My path is definitely non-traditional regarding where I am today. I did leave high school and went to Lipscomb University in Nashville, where I received a bachelor's degree in, I have a major in biology with a minor in chemistry, and I thought I was going to go to medical school. But that did not work out, and so instead I ended up coming to Memphis in 1996, and I did a master's degree in health administration, thinking that I was going to go into the business side of healthcare. And I did. That was in 1998, and I was miserable. I hated my job. It wasn't the company I worked for. They were great, but I just didn't like what I was doing each and every day. And so somehow I discovered real estate, and I fell in love with what I do with real estate. And so I went into real estate full-time in 2003. I've been doing it almost 18 years and love every day. So my comment on that would be, just because you don't know what you want to do, or just because you start down one path, you can always switch and discover your passion and stick with that.
Because what is it they say? If you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life.
And I feel that way. There have been a few hard days, but for the most part, every day is a joy. I love going to work. I love what I do, and it's made all the difference over the last 18 years, enjoying my job.
That's fantastic. So you have a team at Enterprise. How big is the team?
Well, at Enterprise Realtors, we have a couple of different divisions, and so I have a co-owner. His name is Ryan Tucker, and Ryan runs our investment division. And then I run what we call our local division, where I help people buy and sell houses. Ryan helps investors. And then we have a third division, which is property management. And we have a gentleman named Chris Peak that runs that division for us. And we manage about 850 doors of properties that other people own. So we have a management company as well. Overall, we have about 20 employees that work for our company.
So tell me, how do you recruit good people? And what do you do to retain those good people? Because that's what it's all about today with so many, the job, the employment rate is high.
Sure.
So,
it's interesting on recruiting. Through the years, we have tried different methods, and we have discovered that what you would think of going through traditional interviews and resumes and who has the best college degree and who has the most experience in a specific field would be that perfect candidate. But I'll be honest with you, that's really not what we found. I have found that recruiting people that are, number one, they have initiative. They are willing to take not charge, but they're willing to go out there and just show initiative. I'm going to get things done. But they are also willing to learn. So many things about what we do, I really want to train you. I want to say, hey, here's how we do this here, or here's how we would prefer it to be done. So I'm looking for people who are smart, talented, and have initiative and willing to learn. Having a degree and having education is great, but you can have a PhD, and if you're not willing to learn, if you're not willing to take initiative, if you're not willing to have good communication skills, not for me. So tons of education is not necessarily the most important thing. It's important, but it's not necessarily everything involved.
And I guess people skills.
People
Huge.
skills are huge. If you can't interact with people, if you can't have a conversation, if you can't handle conflict, we have discovered through the years that it's amazing. Many people have a very difficult time having conflict. So if you're upset with me, I need to be able to de-escalate your emotions. I need to be able to come back around, have a conversation, and then try to solve what you're upset about, and then turn you back into someone who is happy with my company. That's a skill set that
That's right.
isn't always learned in school, isn't always taught in colleges, but is vital in what we do.
It's taught in large families with siblings, isn't it?
It is. And we definitely have a lot of conflict resolution at the
That's
house with multiple children. And as far as retaining, I'm not a large company, so I can't offer huge amounts of money, and I can't offer huge benefit packages, but what we do is we offer an environment that people enjoy coming to. So I think if you were to interview every single person that works for us, they would say, we enjoy working at that company, we have a good time, we laugh, they're understanding, they try to be flexible, they treat us more like family. And so for a small company, that's how we retain.
I think this is a good time to talk about the fact that you have new offices. And I
Yes.
want you to talk about that. But part of what I noticed when I saw your offices, it's a very open concept. And I think that is part of your team building.
Yes.
Is it not?
So we've been on the square since 2004, but we were renting a location over there near Vinegar Gyms. And a couple years ago, we partnered with Bobby and Kim Winstead, who own S.Y. Wilson's, and Ryan Tucker and I, my partner, we all partnered, and we bought the old cotton gin. Unfortunately, the cotton gin structure could not be salvaged, but we built what we believe to be a beautiful new building.
It is beautiful.
And it adds to the Depot Square area. And my offices are upstairs in Suite 203. And when we built out our offices, you're exactly right. I'm a very open concept, a very open door type of business owner. I don't want to be behind a closed door in an office where people can't approach me. So me and my team, we are all in one big open space, and we talk and we laugh. And then when we need to get work done, we get serious, we get our work done, and then we come back and we talk and we laugh. And it's just, it's an environment that I feel comfortable with, but maybe that's part of my personality. But I think my employees would say it sets a tone and a mood that's a really great place to come
It
to
was
work.
great when I visited.
Thank
That was
you.
nice. And there's a real nod to the cotton gin in your building.
Yes, we maintained some of the old tin and some of the materials from the old cotton gin, and we use that in the decor of our specific office. And we hope that in the future, other pieces of that cotton gin can be used as we continue to expand and develop that area.
Very good. So just a little plug for that building, because I know that you have a new concept, new to Arlington, that you have started in that building. Tell me a minute about that.
Yes, so I am upstairs, but I only had half of the upstairs. The other half we have opened recently because we just finished the construction. It's called the Cotton Gin Office Suites, and basically it's a shared office concept. So we already have 3 tenants. There are 9 offices, and 3 of them are already leased. So basically, if you have a small business and you need 1 office or you need 2 offices, and you really don't need a large office space, but you might want to use a conference room or a break room or shared bathrooms, that's what we have. So recently, the travel agency has moved over there, Sandy Brewer. Many people in Arlington know her.
Sure.
And we have True Clean Home Services, and we have a new tenant coming in September. So they will share the space, and they will share the conference room, share the break room, share the bathroom. So
That's exciting for Arlington. I
we
think
are
it's
excited
it's
about
a
it.
great new concept.
We are the first to open with any kind of space like that. I know there's a space in Collierville, there's spaces back in Memphis, but we're the only space currently in Arlington. So if you have a need for that, let me know. We are renting.
Look at Arlington growing on up. That's exciting. Okay, so now let's jump back to the real estate business, and I want you to talk to me a minute. We talked about having friendly, professional people that work for you, but how important is customer feedback in your business, and how do you get that feedback, and what do you do with it?
And that's a great question that we have through the years really had to alter and change our mindset about that. and especially as social media has continued to develop. So recently, really over the last year, we've made another large alteration to how we get that feedback. So after every single interaction that we have with a customer or a client, now that when the transaction is completed, we have an entire process where multiple people in our company are following up with them 1 day, 7 days, 6 months throughout that next year to say, hey, how did it go? Did you have a good experience? Did you have complications? Were there problems? How can we make that make you feel better about what went on? Or, hey, how did it go? Oh, great, we're glad that you had a great experience. And then we continue to follow up with you 1 month and say thank you for using our services. And then 6 months, thank you for using our services, and continue to remind you that we're there. I will tell you that social media, asking them to then go out onto social media and give us a review is also big. So we always ask them, if you had a good experience, please share that with Facebook or with Google reviews or with Zillow, because those are our big feedback areas.
Sure. Well, people buy from people they like, and people buy from people their friends like, and so it makes sense to do that. When we come back, we're going to talk about the residential activity in Arlington, and you're going to share some of your expertise with us on that, and we'll talk some more things about your business.
Great.
Come right back with us.
If you're happy and you know it, wiggle your ears.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
If you're happy and you know it, wiggle your ears.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, wiggle your ears.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. That one always
You like
makes
that
me
one?
wiggle. Wiggle and giggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm talking with Jon Moultrie, owner of Enterprise Realtors, the Jon Moultrie team, and we've been talking about his business. We're talking about his new building on the square. I want to talk a little bit about the residential activity in Arlington. My perception is, and I could be wrong, that it's a really hot residential time in Arlington. I'm seeing houses go on the market. They're not staying on the market very long. So talk to us about that.
Absolutely. I mean, you're exactly correct. Matter of fact, I use the word unprecedented when I talk to people about the Arlington residential market. I met with a gentleman this past Saturday. He called me. He's thinking about selling his house, and we sat down at his home and we talked about the process of selling his home. We talked about average days on market and what we will do to market his home. The facts are that we are experiencing unprecedented levels of demand in the marketplace. People are wanting to move to our community. There are several variables that drive that. Not only do we have a safe community, but the schools in our community are fabulous. The businesses are growing, and it's just a great place to live. But with this huge amount of demand, we have low levels of supply. Matter of fact, we're at some of our record low levels of supply of housing. So whenever you have high demand, low supply, it pushes the market up. So prices are rising, and houses do not stay on the market very long at all. Matter of fact, average days on market in Arlington is probably somewhere around 14, maybe 21 days, 2 to 3 weeks.
So if you list your house, you better have a plan.
When we talk about that, you better start packing immediately.
But
That's
amazing for a seller.
It is. It's great. Now, what's interesting is that because we have so few houses to sell, a lot of people are choosing, well, I don't want to put my house on the market because then there's nothing else for me to buy. Right. So that's causing a little bit of a phenomenon in the real estate market that we're not used to. That, well, I would like to buy a new home. I'd like to take this one that we started out with that's smaller and buy something bigger, but there's not a lot to choose from. So we actually need residential development. We need more choices. And of course, we have to be smart about the way we grow. And I know our town leaders are all discussing this. This is a political time, and a lot of these discussions are going on. And I know our town leaders are discussing how do we grow in a smart way, but yet how do we also meet the demand? There's many people that want to move to our community, and we need housing, and we need various choices of housing.
Right.
Not everyone wants to live in a large home on multiple acres. Some people need a smaller house on a smaller lot, and we just need choices for various types of demographics.
I heard somebody say it this way one time. They said, we don't want the family who's been in Arlington for 20 years, all of a sudden when they want to downsize and have a smaller lot, to have to move out of Arlington
Right.
to find that house. And that's pretty telling. You know, we want to have all kinds of communities,
Right.
neighborhoods.
We need options. I mean, not every family, not every demographic, not every home buyer looks the same. I met with a gentleman last week. He was a single man, and he wanted to be in Arlington because he likes the community. But he's looking for something different than a family that may have 3 or 4 children. Definitely two home buyers, but with very different needs and wants.
I have a lot of folks that walk in the chamber office that have moved here from out of state, and they tell me their grandparents, they've moved here to be near the kids. They're all here in school in Arlington, and so we want to serve those people too.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the real estate business in general. What are a couple of the risks that you see for the industry?
The economy is always the number one risk for real estate. So back in 2007, we hit a downturn in our economy that lasted for several years. And it threw the real estate industry into quite a difficult period. So, the economy goes through ups and downs, and we go through booms and recessions, and that's normal, that's natural. You can't always grow in a positive direction. You're going to have times that you go up and down. So that's always number one. Number two, I've already mentioned this, but it's a new thing in real estate and really pretty much in any industry now, that it's a huge risk factor, and that is social media. I am a small business owner, and so if I have a poor interaction with you, or if you perceive that we have an interaction that you are unhappy about, in years past, you could have come to me directly, and you and I could have discussed it, and I could have apologized if I had made a mistake. Well, social media, specifically Facebook, has and is a huge risk for me as a small business owner in a small community. If you're unhappy with me and you post something publicly on Facebook, and I don't respond like you want me to, or if other people all of a sudden see what you've written, that can really become something that spins in a way that would really damage my business, not only immediately, but potentially forever.
Long term.
And so, you talk about business risk, especially in a community the size of Arlington. And I've been working in Arlington for many years, and I grew up in a small town, and I know what it means to operate in a small town. And so we try to be very vigilant about keeping our reputation where it needs to be, and I try to be very careful about what goes out into the community. And so Facebook, other forms of social media, huge risk for us.
And it's interesting that you say that, because just take it up another level. For our community, social media is also a risk, because in my business, I have businesses looking at Arlington. They want to come here and plant their flag. They're going to risk sometimes tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest here. But if they get on Facebook and, so I kind of like to tell people my challenge is it takes 7 positives to get rid of a negative. That, some of the time we spend on social media needs to be positive, and let's talk about the great things about our community, because, every community is facing that same challenge. Sure. But let's showcase the positive things about Arlington, so people do want to continue to come here and open a business and raise their family. And so I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's really important. Well, I have more things I want to know, but we've run out of time, and so maybe we'll have a chance to chat again in the future. But I appreciate you coming and talking to us and enlightening us a little bit about the real estate market in Arlington, and specifically what you're doing down in Depot Square. We appreciate people in the community that have invested in the community, and you've really done that.
Well, thank you for having me. And real estate's a great industry. If there's anyone out there that has questions about real estate or a potential career with real estate, I would love to talk to you about it. My door is always open. Just let me know.
That's great. Thanks, John. Appreciate you joining us. We'll be back in just a minute.
I am incredibly, incredibly proud to be a physician here at St. Jude, to be in a place where I know my patients are going to get the top-notch care, not only care, but also research happening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every single person that contributes is a part of that St. Jude family that makes that happen. Because of the research, because of all the donors, because of everyone that was really committed to the mission of St. Jude, we're giving families hope.
Before we go, I want to leave you with 2 dates for your calendar. The Arlington 5K is Saturday, September 7th, and the proceeds from the 5K go to Arlington Community Schools. So come on out and support the event. We've got lots of great sponsors. This is our event t-shirt. Would love for you to sign up and come out, and you can find all the details about this event on the Chamber website or the Chamber's Facebook page. Also on October 18th is the Arlington Barbecue Fall Fest. And that is a tremendous event in Arlington. We'll have over 60 barbecue teams that will compete. It's a qualifying event for the Memphis Barbecue Network. And so that is an event where thousands of people will come out and have fun. There's live bands, there's food, entertainment, things for the kids. So you can also find information on the Chamber's Facebook page about that. That's all for this edition of About Business, and we'll see you again in a month.